Hi, today I am going to review Frankenstein. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. To me at least, Mary Shelley is one of the most iconic authors ever, and Frankenstein is like one of my favorites. When you read a book, you should get to know about the author first. So Mary Shelley, right? Mary Shelley has been through a lot of tragic events. Her mother died giving birth to her, first of all. Her daughter died when she was 13 days old. Her half-sister suicided, and her father did not approve of her relationship with Percy, her husband, and she had to elope from home. But throughout all this, she remained a very supportive and iconic woman. She wrote the first creation myth that was not tied to religion. Now, in a society back then, religion was the major, huge thing, right? So a lot of the stories came from religion. But not this one. This one came from science. And that was pretty groundbreaking and new to people back then. I hold Frankenstein like really close to my heart. And Mary Shelley has done such a good job with this. She wrote it when she was 18, when she was my age. She started writing it when she was my age, and it got published when she was 20. So the story goes like, one day, Lord Byron invited Mary Shelley and Percy to his house, and during the end of the day, he set a competition. He's like, who can write the best horror story? And that is how she started writing Frankenstein when she was 18. And it is such an iconic book. I know I've repeated that word so many times, but it's because I genuinely believe it, right? There are three main characters: Robert Walton, Victor Frankenstein, and the creature. The creature is not Frankenstein. People usually confuse it. People usually think the creature is Frankenstein, but no, he's not. Okay? Now, my favorite character is Robert Walton. He is the narrator, and Robert Walton is in a ship in Antarctica when he meets Victor Frankenstein. And Victor Frankenstein is telling his whole story since he wanted to play God and create this creature, okay? And since then to what happened. And from there we stop the flashback and we get what is going on in the present. That is how the story goes. Robert Walton is a very ambitious, driven, empathetic, kind man who wants to explore Antarctica, basically, okay? That is what he set out to do in the book. And so his main goal is that he wants to explore Antarctica. He wants to explore what no one has explored before, okay? And in that journey, in the ship, it's just him, okay? It's just him. He had a crew of people, but then slowly they backed out, and now it's just him. And he meets Victor Frankenstein, who's very, very similar to him. You know, in the beginning of the book, even I was inspired by Victor's ambition and his, like, oh, he wants this, and he's relentless. He would do anything to get what he wants, okay? But the thing is, he is not all that. He is actually a dropout who wanted to create life, and when he did, he was not accountable. He could not hold himself accountable. He did not take the responsibility. It is like he created life. So it's like a mother abandoning her baby. That's what Victor did to the creature, right? And the creature, Victor is the critique of irresponsible men in society who chase after glory but does not have the strength to handle it. And the it here is the creature, okay? Victor could not handle his own creation. The creature is man. You know, they say that reading makes you more empathetic, right? Because you're being put in someone's shoes and you see the world through their point of view. And man, the creature, that really worked for me in this book, especially with the creature, man. So the thing is, he goes through so many hardships. Actually, there's a quote, okay? There's a quote. I want to read it out. It's written over here and inside the book. And it is one of my favorite quotes, actually. I was benevolent and good. Misery made me a fiend. make me happy, and I shall again be virtuous. See, the thing is, he wanted love, he wanted companionship, and that is like the basic things, man. That's all he wanted, but he was rejected from that. And to be in his shoes, and the eloquence with which he speaks to Victor, okay? He's explaining his problems to Victor, his creator, and Victor's still selfish. Victor's still like, okay, but get away from me, that kind. But the creature, he's so hurt by everything, and he just wants someone to understand him, but then that's like not possible. And I don't want to spoil the book for you, so there's like no spoilers, but I can't say what happens in the end, but it is sad his whole life. And towards the end also, he was still very grateful to his creator. He was like, he always held him in that regard, like even though the creator was toxic to him, it was still his creator, that kind of a relationship. And I liked the dynamic between Robert Walton and Victor Frankenstein, because they both had the same flaw. Victor did not understand his flaw, even though it was like, you can see he has only one flaw. It is his ego of his, okay? And when he was explaining his story to Walton understood. Walton was like, oh, okay, this is very likely to happen to me, okay? But Walton, he understood. He was empathetic, so he understood, and he was in a position where he could ensure that it does not happen to him, and that's what he did. Which is why Robert Walton is my favorite character. Frankenstein in its core is a cautionary tale about reckless ambition, and ambition that is not checked by science. Because over here he was trying to make God. He was trying to play God, sorry. He was trying to play God. He was trying to make life, And to me, it's like a bedtime story for adults that teaches us or tells us to choose the right thing, to choose a kind thing to do, to choose empathy, responsibility, and kindness every single time. It is incredibly powerful, thought-provoking, and chilling. And if you haven't read it, you definitely should. It is about ambition, yes, but it is about how you can lose compassion when you're on your way to reaching your ambition, and how you shouldn't. And I hope you guys will read it if you haven't. Thank you so much for listening.